going on, guys? TheAireaidLord's here. Nuka-Cola today. I guess I'll go easier on the Patriot stuff since it's the off-season and there's not much time really to talk about football. Nothing's really going on. Not till April when the dates are announced for some of their home games. I mean, their schedule's already released, but that's neither here nor there. It's plenty of time to talk about that. So there was a new clip that came out today with Morgan. It's showing what happens, how Morgan left his sniper outpost outside the sanctuary and ran all the way to the kingdom that we saw in the mid-season finale. So it kind of revealed to me what this mid-season premiere is going to be, that we're going to get all of the pieces that we didn't have before. Because again, a lot of people, you know, the people who usually complain about this show, they were like, well, how the hell did the Saviors get out? It was kind of half-assed explained by Simon. Maggie's like, how did you get out? And then Simon said, Eugene. You could hear some opera music playing on a loudspeaker, and you assume that's how they got out. But it was never really shown. And you know people with how they consume media. They want to see it. So not only that, but we're going to see how Carl got bit, apparently. Some of the photos of Sadiq and Carl using the sewer drain pipe. There's a photo of Carl in front of the mirror kind of taking off his button-down shirt, and then you can see like the blood stain on the side of his rib cage. So all of that's going to be, depending on where they do it. I don't know if it's going to be at the beginning of the episode or if it's going to be sprinkled out throughout the episode as information from the present slowly comes through and trickles through in the episode. It'll be interesting, but I'm glad they're doing it because I think if they just left it up to the audience to say, oh, it just happened. If you watch episode 6, you can see the scene where he's bit, but you'd have to do a lot of digging and only really the hardcore fans. So I like how they're kind of spelling it out, but at the same time, it's good context for what the nature of this episode is going to be. The clip's really cool. It shows Morgan. He's aiming, watching the Saviors shooting a bunch of the walkers, and then he realizes that they're clearing a path. They get out. They start shooting Morgan, which Morgan had a shot. Morgan was aiming at 3 of them with his sniper. I don't know if he just hesitated, but he could have easily shot 1 or 2 or 3 of those Saviors while they were shooting the zombies. So I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he just assumed that they would fire at him because there was 3 of them. Who knows? But I like his tactic. When he runs down the stairs, he attracts a whole bunch of walkers. So then when the Saviors burst out the back door to try to get him, the walkers just clamp right down on them. So it was really cool. Carol did a similar thing in episode 4. Where she opens the gate and all those guys are shooting at her when she's behind the truck, and then the zombies just jump right on top of them. So it's always, I always like that when it's humans versus humans, but then they use the walkers to their advantage in the surroundings. We really saw that with Merle when the governor was still an adversary, when he lures all of those walkers with the loud music in the car, and then he picks them off with the rifle. So, yeah, we've seen that in a bunch of episodes. That's how they took down Terminus, how Carol did it. So, I mean, but it's a cool clip. And the other reason I kind of wanted to make this video was because we are a week away from the premiere of the next half, the last half of Season 8. And it's usually on by this point. It's just later for this year for some reason, which means we'll have Walking Dead content, reactions, and such into probably the middle of April, if I'm tallying that correctly. Because usually it ends the first week in April, but now with the way it... Because most of the time, it's the Sunday after the Super Bowl is when The Walking Dead returns. But for whatever reason, maybe it was just because of how late it ran last year, production things, change of showrunner, whatever it may be, they delayed it. So it's the 25th. Regardless, I'm still going to be here doing it. It'll be me, and I assume my other friends, Pete and Jack, depending what they have going on. But most likely they'll be able to join me for it. And yeah, it'll be the same locale as last year when we did the first half of Season 8. So we'll have all of that going on. And I mean, I'm looking for I'm looking for resolution, but I'm also looking. I'm just interested because again, it's another part of the comics that they're wrapping up, and I'm interested to see how they deal with basically the fall of Negan and wrapping up the war with the Saviors. I mean, this is the last bit of conflict against the Saviors. We've had the Saviors for a while, ever since season 6, episode 6, where Daryl first ran into Dwight and that whole thing, and then a few episodes later, he ran into the guys with the motorcycles, and he blew up the rocket launcher. So really, from around the midway point of season 6 all the way to the end of that's 2.5 seasons worth of Saviors. And you've had other groups in there. Again, you've had the Junkyard, you've had the Oceanside, but it's interesting that they use the Saviors as these overarching tyrannical villains, and other groups circle around them. The Junk People are waiting to see who has the best deal. Oceanside was oppressed, but they got away. So, lots of different things going on. And, again, some people have been burned out, but I think Season 9 is going to be so different because it's Angela Kang as showrunner, and it's probably going to be a time jump. No Carl. And I'm hoping for a grown-up Judith. It's going to be different. I mean, this is really big uncharted territory because Carl is a huge part of what comes after. After the war with the Saviors and Negan, he's a huge part of what comes after. And now that he's gone, I'm interested to see who's going to jump in the star role. Will it be Judith? Because she's not alive in the comics at this point. So will they use her growing up? And maybe this story is about her growing up. She's a baby and born in this apocalypse, and maybe she's got to grow up and learn what it means to survive in it. Who knows? It would be interesting because, again, she comes from that old love triangle of Laurie, Shane, and Rick, and she was born of that. And she's survived the lot. She's been through all the major group conflicts, and she hasn't really always been the focal focus. I mean, she's a baby, so you can't really do much with her. She can't talk. You just see her. I mean, there's scenes of her playing, being moved away from some of the action, like they bring her to Hilltop when Alexandria is getting ready for the setup and everything. And so yeah, there's a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see where they go. Just with the next half. So leave your comments down below. This is kind of just almost like a teaser, kind of saying, hey, in a week's time we're going to be jumping into The Walking Dead. Maybe I'll just leave this video for the last video on my channel until next week, or maybe I'll put up some sort of gaming content. I haven't really decided, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So, alright, so thank you guys. Just a quick video. The Morgan clip's really cool. It's probably going to be one of the last previews. The only other preview they had was a preview of Michonne clearing out some of the walkers in Alexandria, and you could hear by the sad music in her face that she's still pretty distraught over Carl, and she's having trouble killing them, or maybe she wants to revenge kill them because she blames them for biting Carl. So again, if I had to choose one thing in this episode, this premiere, that I'm looking forward to, it's the conversation between Rick and Negan, where Rick says, "My son is dead." I am really interested to see how Negan reacts. Because this is something that's not in the comics. Because Carl doesn't die. He doesn't die in the comics, and now he's going to. And I'm very interested to see what Negan thinks about that. There is a part in the trailer where you see him on the walkie, and he's like, "You set this course. Who's next?" And it looks like he's he feels for him. Like he's not a psychopath like the governor. He's got feelings, and he made this group with those intentions. And he's really just the anti-Rick, more or less. And, viewers will see that as we go on. But he didn't want Carl to be dead. He said in the last episode he wanted him to be one of his top guys at some point. So, I guess that's never going to happen. So, alright. That's about it from me. That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. But let me know what you guys are looking forward to. And, yeah, we'll just have to wait till next Sunday. So, thank you very much, and I will see you later. Peace out.